If you're new here, my name is Leah, and today I am going to be bringing to you a cook with me meal prepping video that I haven't done in quite a long time, but let me tell you, it is time. We are ready to be back on the bandwagon, eat more mindfully, and whenever I get all this meal prep done, there's no excuse. We are able to enjoy a selection of healthy, nutritious, and delicious meals that are ready to go in our fridge for us for the week. So if you're ready, I'm going to get into the kitchen, share with you how I do it. Let's get cooking. The first thing I'm going to get started with is the chicken, and I am just going to put this into a casserole dish. I like to slice the chicken thin, and I've shown that before, and it's just my go-to way of making sure that everything is cooked quickly and seasoned all over. I then cover it with my seasoning of choice, and today I'm just going to use Cajun seasoning and then get that into the oven. I don't need to add any water, and have it cook at about 400 degrees until it is fully cooked. Depending on how thick your chicken pieces are, I would say it's going to take about 30 to 45 minutes. The second protein I'm working on is some salmon, and this is just for myself. I got a really good deal on it the other day. So I'm putting together a sauce using garlic chili and then some soy sauce, and there's really no recipe for that. I use about 3 tablespoons of the garlic chili sauce and then about equal parts of soy. It's just up to you. Once I get all of that combined, I put it over top of the salmon, and I like to put foil or parchment paper down first just to protect the pan, and it's just more helpful for me that way. So go ahead and put some of that sauce on there, and I am reserving some of it to then put on the meal later on whenever I serve it with rice. So you're just going to bake that at 400 degrees for about 15 minutes. I'm just putting both pieces of fish into the same container. That way I don't have to have several meal prep boxes in my fridge. Next, I need to get the quinoa going, and I'm doing that on the stovetop. 3/4 cup of water to 1 cup of quinoa. Once that comes to a boil, I turn it down to simmer for 15 minutes covered. And then I also needed to get some jasmine rice into the Instant Pot. It's just my favorite way of cooking rice. I cover 1 cup of rice just about an inch over and then let that go for 12 minutes on high pressure. The next thing I also needed to get done was the vegetables, and this week we're using zucchini. I got a fantastic deal I shared with you in our grocery haul. So the first batch of zucchini I'm doing is to go with the Cajun chicken. I am just sauteing it or steaming it with some water, and then I drizzled it with a little bit of olive oil and quite a bit of Cajun seasoning. Once the rice was done, I added it to the zucchini and 4 pieces of chicken for my husband to then separate out throughout the week for his lunch. The second batch of zucchini is more of a basic flavor. I used garlic powder, salt, pepper, and then a little bit of olive oil again with some water to saute and steam on my skillet. And then once that came to a nice tender state, I added some of it to the large container with my fish and some of that jasmine rice. That way I can separate it for myself. I put the rest of the zucchini into a Ziploc bag to go into the fridge for our quinoa bowls throughout the week, which I need some garbanzo beans for as well. So I just like to cook those in my Instant Pot for about 30 minutes. I just did 1 cup this time. And then once those were done, I just put those into a Ziploc bag. Of course, you can use whatever kind of container you want to. And then everything will be ready to go for the quinoa bowls to just assemble. So the next thing I needed to get done for the quinoa bowls would be the cucumbers and then some chopped up chicken. So with my cucumbers, I really like to slice off some of the skin unless I get the really good greenhouse cucumbers. But I saved money by just buying some standard cucumbers, and then I'm dicing those up into 4ths, and then I'm also going to chop up 1 chicken breast. It's really sliced in half, so it looks like 2, but it's 1 chicken breast that I'm also going to get put into the fridge to do all of my quinoa bowl assembly as well. One of my favorite quinoa bowl recipes is to use pickled beets, feta cheese, cucumbers, chickpeas, and then diced chicken with spinach. So all of those things are in the fridge ready to go. I just need some Greek dressing. The Greek dressing recipe that I am following today calls for dried oregano, which I do not happen to have, but this seasoning has oregano in it, as well as the salt and garlic that the recipe calls for. So I'm going to use that along with 1 lemon. I need the juice from that. So I'm going to roll that first. It just kind of helps get the juices going. And then I'm going to mix everything into this mason jar. It allows me to shake it up and not have to whisk or stir. It's just my favorite way of making dressing. I will have the full recipe for this dressing listed down in the description box for you so you can follow along with that. But you're going to then need 1/3 cup of red wine vinegar, as well as 1/2 cup of oil. And I'm using olive oil, but if you have canola or vegetable, that would work as well. I am using a squirt of regular mustard, but the recipe calls for Dijon, which I happen to have run out of a couple of weeks ago. I haven't replaced it yet, so that's what we're using. And then the seasoning blend, I'm using 2 whole teaspoons of that. Otherwise, you can use 1 teaspoon of dried oregano, along with a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of pepper, and then a couple cloves of minced garlic. So then go ahead and give that a nice shake or whisk it together. And then once that's done, you can stick it in the fridge as is, or you can put it into a nice salad dressing bottle, which I'm going to then do for our fridge. Done it. We have completely finished our meal prep, meal planning, and made the kitchen a mess, which means that the fridge is full of delicious food for us for the week, nutritious, healthy, wonderful things for us to fill our bellies with. And hopefully this gave you some inspiration that your meal prep does not have to be plain chicken and broccoli. So if you have any ideas, let me know down below. And until the next video, I will see you in the comments.